All right, so this is the third part from lecture 9. The part is shown as a dimensioned isometric drawing, and it has this boss here, the circular boss, and these two slots, and we're going to assume that the hole and the slots are going to be through all. So I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit, and we'll move it over here to the right. And we note that the size of the parts, 120, 75, 55, typically we would think of those as being millimeters. So I'll create a new part and I'll set my units. My default template is always inch, pound, seconds, the way I have it set up. So I need to switch over to millimeter, gram, second. All right, so I'm going to create this on the right plane because this is the right plane in an isometric view. So I'll start my sketch, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a circle up here somewhere, and you'll see why in a second. I am going to then create a line that's going to come down off the circle to the origin, but notice it's not going vertical, but that's okay. I'm going to come across here, horizontal, come up, and now what I'm going to do is I want to zoom in here. I want this line to be both tangent and coincident to the circle. So what you do is you hover over, and there you see that there are two relations now. The coincident and the tangent relation show up. So if I click here, I get what I want, and I'll right click and click select to end the tool. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to click here onto this line and make it vertical. So that's another way of creating the shape that I want. I'm going to come here, I'm going to just draw one horizontal line over here, and I'm going to create one more circle in the center. And what this has done, this sketch now encompasses all of the features that I need here, except for these two fillets and the slots. But everything else, the main bit, is all kind of represented here. So let's go put some dimensions on. I'm going to go here. The width of it is 120. The height of the circle above the base, which is sometimes a little hard to read on the isometric drawings, is 55. The diameter of this circle is 50. The hole in the center is 20. And the length here is already specified. You see that? That is because the way we have 120, I'm going to say okay to make this dimension driven. So what you're actually finding out here is that the 95, the 120, and the 50 cannot all be driven dimensions. So 120 minus half of the 50, so 120 minus 25 gives you the 95. And the last dimension I need is this dimension here, which will be 10. Okay. So what we can do now is extrude this, and first thing I'm going to do it I'm going to use this sketch to make the extrusions. The first one I'm going to do is make the plate, which is going to be 15 plus 75. So I'm going to do features, extruded boss, and I'm just going to select this contour, and I'm going to set the distance to be 15 plus 75. Which is 90 millimeters. Then I'm going to open up the arrow next to it, select the sketch again, go to extruded boss. I'm going to select here and here and set that distance to being 15. and I'm again going to select on sketch 1 and go to extruded boss, and I'm going to select just the donut, the annular of these two, and set that distance to be 25. So using that one sketch, I get most of the features of the part. We then need to put in the fillets, which have a radius of 10. So I'm going to go under fillet here. It's already set to 10, so I don't need to add it in. So I'll just add in my 2 fillets by selecting those 2 edges. And then the last thing to create this part is to put in the 2 slots. So I'm going to click Sketch to create a new sketch. I'll select this plane, and I'm going to use the single slot tool. So I'll just make this vertical slot and this horizontal slot. I'm going to show you something now. I'm in my tool, and I'm going to right mouse click and pull my mouse up, and you see that little instance there. Let me show it again. That this is called mouse gestures. So I'm in the sketch tool, so I can quickly switch between line, rectangle, circle, or go back to my dimension. So it's always you can always go up to the toolbar, but nice to show it. So I'm in the dimension, so this dimension is 20. This dimension from here to here is 25. The length itself is 25, and the radius is 5. So that completely defines that one. For this one, we have the length is 20. This dimension here is 30. The offset from the side of the part is 30. And lastly, the overall radius of the part is radius 10. So those are my 2 fully defined slots, and I'll do features, extruded cut, using the option not blind but through all. You know, let me actually leave this as blind, and I'm going to set the blind distance to be 10, just so it goes all the way through the part. Just want to show you what happens here. So everything's fine here, but if I went back and edited the original sketch and say I set this depth here to be 15, and I go ahead and update the part by, how do I do this, is I have to like close the sketch. So I'm in my sketch, I'll close the sketch, the part rebuilds, and you'll see that those holes don't go all the way through. So I need to change that. So I'm going to come back here, and now I want to change this dimension back. I'm just going to click on Boss Extrude 1, and you'll see that all the dimensions show up. So I can just double click on the 15, change it back to 10, say OK, and the part rebuilds. But I want to go back and change this extrude. I'm going to edit the feature, and instead of it being blind, I just want to do through all so it catches my design intent. I'll do Control 7 to make it a isometric view, and let's take a look under the Evaluate tab. We'll go to the mass properties, and the volume is 187,568.9 cubic millimeters and 39,636.09 square millimeters. Okay, so that's a relatively quick part to make. We've showed you a few extra things, and I hope you enjoyed these videos for Lecture 9, and we'll see you next week.